Hi love, welcome back. In today's class you're making this beautiful flower skirt. If you are new to the channel, my name is Miss Ai and you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you my love, thank you darling for always coming back. Let's get right into class. To begin with, you are going to make a slip knot, and this skirt I'm making for a size small. So you're going to be chaining a multiples of 8 and I'm going to chain 120. If you're making for a size medium, consider chaining 136, and if you're making for a size large, consider chaining 144. It should be in a multiples of 8. However, your waist measurement should factor. So after you've made your chain, you are going to make sure your chain is not twisted, and we are going to be joining both sides to form a circle. So this is what you should be having. And now we are going to be starting with the main work. So to begin with row 1, you are going to chain 5, and the chain 5 counts as your first treble. So we are going to place a second treble in the same stitch. So yarn over 2 times, insert your hook inside, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So we are going to make another treble. So this is an incomplete treble. So you are going to add one more, making it a 3 treble cluster, and you pull through all. You are going to chain 1, and you are going to skip 7 stitches, and into the 8th stitch you are going to make a treble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into the 8th one you are going to place a treble, and make sure it's incomplete. Now we have one treble. You are going to prepare for your second treble in the same stitch, yarn over. Now you have 3 loops. Now pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 3. You are going to chain 4, 3, 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. Now you are going to chain 4 again. Chain 4 count as your first treble, and you are going to make your second treble in the same stitch, so incomplete, and now make your third one. So you have, and pull through all the loops and chain 1. So we are going to go again. So prepare for your treble. You are going to skip 7, and inside the 8th stitch you are going to make your first incomplete treble. You are going to make another one inside the same stitch, and now you are going to pull through. You are going to chain 4. Inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again. Your chain 4 count as your first treble, and now you are going to place 2 more trebles, making it 3. So this is 1, and you are going to add the second one, and now you are going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and you should be having something like this. Keep repeating it until the end of the row. So you are going to skip 7, and into the 8th stitch you are going to place a treble, an incomplete treble crochet. You are going to add one more treble crochet to complete this. You are going to chain 4. Inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch, chain 4, and make 2 more treble crochets inside the same stitch. So 2 more treble crochet cluster. So 1 and 2, and now you have 3 loops. Pull through all 3 and chain 1. So you are going to repeat this until the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end. So at the end of the row, you are going to make your last. So remember, when we were starting, we made 3 treble cluster. So inside the same stitch, we are going to complete our treble crochet. So you are going to make 2 treble crochet cluster. So this is 1 and 2. So after your 2, you are going to pull through all 2 and you are going to chain 4. Inside the same stitch, you are going to make a slip stitch, and that's the end of row 1. So you should be having something like this. So we've come and then we are back to where we started from, and it should be in the middle. Row 2, you are going to chain 6, and inside your first chain space, you are going to place your 2 treble cluster inside that chain 1 space. So place your 2 treble crochet cluster. So this is 1, and complete the second and pull through. You are going to chain 4 inside the same stitch. You are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are going to place your 2 treble crochet cluster. So chain 4 count as your first treble. So place 2 more and now pull through and chain 1. So inside the next chain 1 space, you are going to place your 2 treble cluster. So this is 1 and 2. Pull through and you are going to chain 4 and make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again and make your 2 treble cluster. So this is 1 and 2, and pull through, chain 1, and you are going to keep repeating this. So inside the next chain 1 space, you are going to make your 2 treble cluster, 1 and 2. Going to pull through, chain 4, and inside the same stitch, you are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4. Chain 4 is your count as your first treble, and you are going to keep repeating your clusters. Chain 1 inside the chain 1 space. So you are going to go ahead and keep repeating this, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So don't forget to always chain 1 when you are done with your cluster. So I'm going to walk you through a few, and you are going to keep repeating this, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch inside the 5th stitch. That is the end of row 2. Row 3, you are going to chain 5 and make your treble inside the same stitch. So you are going to add 1 more, making it 3 cluster, 3 treble cluster, and you are going to chain 1. Now you are going to prepare for your treble inside the first chain 1 space. You are going to make your 2 treble cluster, chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again, chain 4 count as your first treble, and make 2 more trebles inside the same stitch and pull through. You are going to chain 1. Inside the next chain 1 space, you are going to place your 2 treble cluster. So 2 treble cluster is like 2 incomplete trebles. Now chain 4. Inside the same stitch, you are going to slip stitch, chain 4 again, and make your 2 treble cluster. So in total you should have 3. So when I say treble cluster, mean incomplete trebles, right? So you're going to chain 1. Inside the chain 1 space, you are going to keep repeating this. 2 treble cluster, chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch and chain 4 again and make your 2 treble cluster. So this is basically the pattern, and the pattern is going to be a repetition of row 1 and 2 until your desired length, but I'm going to walk you through a few more rows so you would understand. So keep doing this and I'll meet you at the end. So at the end of the row, just as we did for row 1, we are going to complete the trebles. So inside the same stitch, you are going to place 2 treble cluster in the beginning, and you are going to chain 4 and make a slip stitch in the same stitch. So now it brings us back to the middle again, and now row 4 is just going to be like row 2. You are going to chain 6, and inside the first chain 1 space you are going to place 2 treble cluster. So that's 2 incomplete treble crochet, chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch, chain 4 again, and make your 2 treble cluster in the same stitch, chain 1, and inside the next chain 1 space you are going to make 2 treble cluster or 2 incomplete clusters, chain 4, and make a slip stitch in the same stitch, chain 4 again, make your 2 treble cluster, and chain 1. So you are going to keep repeating this until the end of the row. This row 4 is exactly as row 2, so if you didn't understand anything, you can go back to row 2 and watch it carefully. And row 1, all the even rows are going to be the same, and all the odd rows are going to be the same, and it's a repetition of row 1 and 2, right? So we are going to keep repeating row 1 and 2 until we get our desired length for the skirt. So keep doing this and I'll meet you at the end of the row. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel up until this point and you watch our videos, my love, my darling, my sweethearts, please do. This is a little you can do to support our channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. So keep doing this until the end of the row. So at the end of the row, you are going to make a slip stitch inside the 5th stitch, inside the 5th chain. So you are going to make a slip stitch. So now row 5, you are going to chain 5, and your chain 5 count as your first treble, and in the same stitch you are going to make your 2 more trebles to complete, and you are going to chain 1. Inside the very first stitch, you are going to place, inside the very first chain 1 space, you are going to make your 2 incomplete trebles. So this is 1 and 2. You are going to chain 4, and in the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again and make your 2 more incomplete trebles in the same stitch. Chain 1, and inside the chain 1 space again, you are going to make your 2 treble or 2 incomplete trebles, 1 and 2. You are going to chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make your slip stitch. You are going to chain 4 again and make your 2 more incomplete trebles in the same stitch and chain 1. So you are going to keep repeating this until the end of the row. At the end of the row, just as we did for row 1, you are going to complete your treble. So inside the same stitch, you are going to make 2 more incomplete treble crochets. This is 1 and 2. And you are going to chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. That's the end of row 5. Row 6, you are going to chain 6, and inside the very first chain 1 space you are going to make your 2 incomplete treble crochets, chain 4 and a slip stitch. You are going to chain 4 again and make 2 more incomplete trebles in the same stitch, and yarn over and pull through all. You are going to chain 1. Inside the next chain 1 space, you are going to make 2 incomplete treble, chain 4, and inside the same stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. Chain 4 again, and inside the same stitch you are going to make 2 more incomplete trebles, and now you are going to chain 1. Keep repeating the pattern all around. So this is what we have now. So keep repeating the pattern all around, and I'll meet you. And if you want it longer, just keep repeating the same pattern all around, and if you want it shorter, you can just end anywhere you desire. But I'm going to make it long, but I've run out of yarn. I've ordered, but it's not in yet, so I'm going to be switching my yarn. So I'm going to switch to this color that I have been doing, and I'll place the brown one aside. So I'm going to make this as long as I can, and we'll continue with this color. So this is how long I've made this. Just continue repeating row 1 and 2 until you have your desired length. So the pattern is just is two-way pattern, so row 1 and 2, row 1 and 2, and when you are done, when you get your desired length, just chain 1, cut and fasten your yarn, and you should be having something like this. And now you are going to, for the waist, you are going to locate the middle part of the skirt, and you are going to make a very long strand and just go in and out and pull through. That is if you want the skirt to be ordinary, but if you want to attach some flowers, I already did a video tutorial on how to make the bra cap, so it's this same tutorial from the bra cap, so you can just go and watch how to make the flowers from there. And the flowers, I made 2 sizes. The bigger sizes, I chained 66 for the bigger size, and the smaller size I chained 46, but the pattern is the same from the bra cap. So just go and watch how to make the flower and attach the flower, and we are just going to be attaching the flower to the skirt. And the coverage, it all depends on you. If you want more flower and more coverage of the front and back area, you can go ahead and make as many flowers as you can, and depending on how you want the coverage to be. So with the flower, I'm using mixed yarn, so it's not really easy making tutorial with the mixed yarn because the hook usually blends in. So I would advise you go and watch the bra video to make the flower. I think it's more clearer there, and this is how I'm going to be attaching. So when you are done making the flower, make sure you cut and leave a long strand, because that is the strand you are going to be using to use to sew in the flower to the skirt. So you are going to go ahead, just divide your work into 2 and keep placing the flower, attaching the flower to the skirt from the waist up until where you want the coverage to be. So that is basically what I am going to do. So I'm done attaching the first one, and make sure you go in and hide all loose ends as you are attaching, and make sure the flower is sitting on it very firm, right? So I have attached the flower. So the bigger flower I made 16, and the smaller flowers I made 12. But you can go ahead and make as many as you want. If you want to cover the whole project with flower, please do. And this is basically the end of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all the flowers to the skirts, and I'll show you the end product. If you enjoy the video, please leave us a heart sign under the comment section, and also let us know where you're watching us from. It's always nice to know. Until we meet next week, my love, my darling, my baby, my sweetheart, stay hydrated and come to class early next week, and don't come to class alone next week. Bring a friend and tell a friend to bring another friend, and to bring another friend, and to bring another friend. Until we meet next week, let's see how it looks on the mannequin, and bye bye. So when you're done with your work, make sure you cut all loose ends and make the bra cap, and bye bye.